Here are 4 books every entrepreneur should read, but likely you've never heard of these 4 books. Hey, this is Wayne, founder of Ugly Mug Marketing and creator of the Agency Accelerator. And here's one thing we all know to be true, that all great leaders are readers. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow and expand your business, then it's important that you pour yourself into some really great books. And today I'm excited to share with you 4 of my all-time favorite books that every entrepreneur should read, but chances are you've never heard of these books because these are older books. These are books that aren't quote unquote popular today, but these books will have a profound impact on your business and on your organization, and more importantly, on your life as a leader and as an entrepreneur. Charlie Tremendous Jones once said that we will be the same person we are today in 5 years, except for the people we meet and the books we read. So I'm a huge believer and advocate for surrounding yourself, number one, with really great people, people who stretch you. Never be the smartest person in the room. And number 2, reading books that challenge the way that you think. We don't want to read books that just motivate us, hype us up. We want to read books that are actually going to challenge us. So these 4 books are going to do just that for you as an entrepreneur. So let's jump in. Book number 1, Broken Windows, Broken Business by Michael Levine. Michael Levine at one point was the world's most prominent PR agent. So he moved from New York City to Los Angeles and didn't have any clients there, but decided to go into the PR world. And over the course of the next 30 years, he built one of the most prominent PR firms in all of America. He had clients including Michael Jackson, he had Barbra Streisand, he had the Rolling Stones, he had 2 US presidents as clients. And so he knows a lot about publicity, but he also knows something that most of us miss out, and that is that what other people see, the perception about us and our businesses, creates the reality. And so in this great book, Broken Windows, Broken Business, he challenges us to not just think in terms of our marketing message and what we put out publicly to the world that way, but instead he challenges us to think about what message do the smudges on the window communicate about our business? What message does a dirty bathroom communicate? Or what message does it communicate when we don't answer our telephone or we don't return phone calls in a timely manner? All of us have these broken windows, as he would call them, in our businesses. The challenge for you and me is to remove the rose-colored glasses, right? Because these are our babies, our business is our baby. Remove those rose-colored glasses and to look at our business objectively through the eyes of a prospective customer, and through those lenses, we will likely discover some broken windows that need to be addressed. Book number 2, Predictable Success by McKeown. So this book is super fascinating for us as entrepreneurs, and here's why. In this book, Les details the exact stages that every single business is going to go through. It doesn't matter what type of business you have. If you got a marketing agency like me, or if you're in e-commerce, or if you have a not-for-profit, if you have drop shipping, it doesn't matter. Your business is going to go through these 7 stages. And he outlines exactly what we as leaders need to think about as our business progresses through these 7 stages. He also talks about what's going to happen to us as leaders, as founders, as our businesses move through these stages. He highlights that as we move into certain stages for growth, that our natural tendencies as a leader to jump in and fight fires, to jump in and solve problems quickly, is actually going to hurt us. It's going to become detrimental because what we're doing is we're sabotaging others' ability to step in and lead, to step in and create systems and processes for us. And so if you seem to be struggling to grow and scale your business, this is a book I highly recommend you pick up. The 3rd book is Michael Jackson, Inc. This is a book about Michael Jackson's life, but specifically about the business empire that Michael Jackson built during his career. And it's super fascinating, super well done, because it gives you a glimpse not only into the mind of Michael as it relates to his music, but also to the business genius that Michael Jackson actually had. So in this, you're going to hear stories about how he actually became known as the king of pop, right? We know Michael Jackson today as the king of pop, but there's actually a story behind how he specifically and strategically engineered that to happen. You'll also hear stories in here about how he would actually write his goals on sticky notes and place them on his mirror in his bathroom to look at those goals on a daily basis. For example, when he was going to be releasing the album Bad, he put up on there 100 million albums. That was his goal to sell for that particular album. And he looked at it every single day. Another thing that's super fascinating is when Michael Jackson was moving, they took everything out of his home and they put it in storage. And it talks about in here how literally on one side of this massive storage building, there were boxes and boxes of books just stacked floor to ceiling. And it says in here from his agent, it says that he actually looked at and studied so many of these books. Michael Jackson was a huge fan of P.T. Barnum. So if you're not familiar with him, look him up. But he studied him to discover how P.T. Barnum was able to capture the minds and the attentions of so many people around the world. And this book is so fascinating if you, one, have any interest in music, but number two, if you're curious about the way he built a business empire and the way he thought about business. And the fourth book in the series that you've probably never heard of, but you should read if you're an entrepreneur, is this one called Managing Ourselves by Ari Weinzweig. Now, Ari is the co-founder of a little deli in Ann Arbor, Michigan called Zingerman's. And their story is completely fascinating. So if you're not familiar with them, go Google it, look up the story. But Ari has a series of these books, and I think this is number 3 in the series. And this one is Managing Ourselves. And so one of the first and foremost things is this, that if we are going to lead our organizations well, if we're going to manage the businesses that we are growing well, we must first look in the mirror and learn to manage ourselves well as leaders, as humans, as people that our team members depend on. We've got to learn to lead ourselves well before we can lead our teams well, and before we can expect other people to learn to lead well. This book is filled with very practical and tactical things for us as leaders to do when it comes to learning to manage ourselves well. So if you're an entrepreneur and you have a high-end product or high-end service, I would strongly encourage you to study what they've done at Zingerman's. Again, a small deli based in Ann Arbor, Michigan. They'll do this year probably around $70 to $80 million in revenue from Ann Arbor, Michigan. And the things that they teach and the practices that they demonstrate there are worth you studying on how they built this brand, how they built this really global empire from this little town in a small place in Michigan. So these are the 4 books that I believe every entrepreneur should read, especially if you're growth-minded and you plan on scaling and growing your business. Devote some time to picking up copies of these. No, you won't see these in New York Times. These are some older books. These are more obscure books, but these books will have a profound impact on the way you think about business, the way you do business, and the way you grow your business. If you are an avid reader and you love to read, I would love to hear what you're reading in the comments below. Leave a comment below letting me know what you're currently reading or what book you recommend that I read next. And be sure to subscribe because we've got more great videos coming your way. Till next time.